let's have a season 2 of our podcast.
We've been greenlit and everything.
We've been speaking to our funders. They've given us the back 9 episodes, or we can continue. I'm going to have a little shift around, so there's going to be some noise. I've shifted. Okay.
There was no noise.
Happy New Year. Wait, have I said that to you this year? Happy New Year. It's 2017. 2016 was but a distant memory.
Yes. With the end of season 1 being cut short by writer strikes.
It wasn't a strike. It was unforeseen. Well, not unforeseen, but it wasn't even a planned absence either. It was just basically.
It was just surprisingly long.
BT can go fuck themselves. That's pretty much what it is. Right. So we're starting with a supernatural theme, a comic book theme.
Because every first episode needs a comic book show.
Well, yeah. At
Season
least
1, it was The Flash.
Yeah, I was thinking, what comics do they bring up for Breaking Bad? But,
they might.
As it's a new year and I feel generous, which one would you like to do first, Richard? We're gonna do pretty.
Should we go for Constantine first?
Let's do Constantine, seeing as that was the one I watched first. Right.
Seeing as chronologically it was first.
What, in comics as well? Or?
In release dates of the series.
Fair enough. Right, Constantine. Who is a Constantine?
He's that guy who does the supernatural.
A demon hunter and dabbling master of the occult, struggling with his past sins while protecting the innocent from the converging supernatural threats that constantly break through our world due to the rising darkness.
Yes, at least he was for 13 episodes.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the rising darkness went, can't be arsed with this.
We'll find some other show to ruin.
What? Preacher? Yeah, we'll get all over that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm very phlegmy today, it's not very nice. Right, Constantine then. What do you think?
I liked it. I watched, I think, because it came out when I was still at uni, so I had the time to just fucking binge watch shit. So this took me about 2 days. And I thought it was really good. I don't know why it got cancelled, the fuckers.
Well, I think it's just viewers, isn't it? It's always viewership. But yeah, I really liked it. I'm just looking at the notes that I wrote because I've decided that I'm going to write notes for every show that we do this year now. I've pretty much written down what happens in the episode and not a lot of opinions.
That's helpful.
Yeah, it's not really, but I liked it. I wasn't sure about him. I really liked the show and everything, and I liked the Keanu Reeves movie, which even
I haven't actually watched that.
It's okay. I quite liked it, and there was a game on the PS2, and that wasn't brilliant, but it was cool. It was the first sort of. I had it on a demo disc, and I was like, "Oh, I know, I'm going to play a scary game." And I saw this in a magazine. I was like, "Yep, I'll try that," and it wasn't scary.
Yeah, I wouldn't have said it's because it's not really a horror show as such. It's just it's just a bit supernatural, bit magic, and stuff from hell. But apart from that, it's not very scary.
No. So, what happens in the pilot? What do we see John wondering about doing?
Well, recovering from the failed exorcism. Because it starts off with him in a mental home. He's in Arkham, pretty much.
He's in an asylum.
Yeah. It would have been cool if he was in Arkham, though.
Oh, I suppose it would make sense, wouldn't it? It's the same universe, isn't it?
Yeah, well, this is in the Arrowverse, where Gotham is not really confirmed as much.
As in the show Gotham. It does seem strange now I'm thinking about it that they don't connect those two things. If they, I mean, they don't have to, but...
Well, they're set in different time periods.
Oh, of course they are.
Because Arrow's modern day, and I think Gotham's set in, like, I don't know, a different time.
Well, it was before Batman turned up, isn't it?
Yeah. But all his villains are already there, so fucking Gotham. But no, and he's
Sorry.
he's sort of doing some stuff, and then you meet Zed quite early on, don't you?
Who's Zed? I clearly wasn't paying attention.
Maybe it's not Zed.
No,
then.
it's. Oh, I remember. I was reading up about this. Liv Aberdeen or Aberdeen, whatever. She was dropped from the show, and they replaced her with, Lucy Griffith, who is in Robin Hood as well. But she was Liv, and they replaced her with the woman who plays Zed later on in the show. Because having only watched the pilot, I don't really know who Zed is. But you've watched the whole thing, haven't you? So.
I think Zed seems to be sort of the replacement character for
the
one that got dropped.
Do you know what was really strange? I was looking at Liv, and I was like, I know you from somewhere, and it took me ages to be. Oh yeah, you were in that Robin Hood show.
Well, it took me a while to realise why I recognised Constantine's voice.
Oh yeah, he's Edward Kenway, isn't he? No, not Edward.
Yeah,
Edward,
yeah, he is
from Assassin's Creed.
He's the main character in Black Flag.
I
So
don't know
we,
how you feel about that.
so we must have spent like 40, 50 hours just listening to him talk, just like watching that, just like, what the fuck? I recognise your voice. Why? Like, oh, you were in Black Flag. I see. But so there's.
So yeah, he's in the asylum, and he can't get over the fact that he conjured a demon that murdered a young girl, and while he's recovering there, he sees that the woman's possessed, and he's like, oh, shit's going down.
Yeah, and then I think they start to touch on the, like the rising darkness and
Yeah,
stuff.
'cause Manny turns up, doesn't he? The angel, played by Harold Perrineau, who's in The Matrix and Lost, I think.
I remember having to look him up as well and being like, I fucking recognise you. Where are you from?
Oh, he's Mercutio in Romeo and Juliet as well, and he's really good at that. Yeah, he warns of something on the way. So it's fun, isn't it? Do you find, having watched a lot of pilots now, they're actually quite formulaic? Like it's almost like you've got a bingo card of things you need to see. It's like, there's the introduction of the main character, there's the conflict within that character, then it's like, oh, someone has to turn up, or there has to be some precursor to, like, there's this big thing that's going to happen, so it's like, this is the direction the show's going to go in.
Yeah, but I think
the
a lot of them
always sort of ties itself up at the end, and like ties up all the loose ends, because like, well, if this is it,
just in case.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, no, I've started to notice that a little bit. Like, they don't seem to ever introduce the big bad until they've been sort of put into production.
Yeah, which makes sense, really, because if it's only going to exist as the pilot, then it would make sense to have a story that completely concludes itself, rather than just to be oh yeah, so to be continued.
Yeah, they sort of introduced the scrying map and stuff as well, I think, in the pilot.
The what?
The map where they can like sort of find where demons are going to be.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah, that's the point. I was a bit. I thought it was a bit of a damp squib. The final conflict bit. I was like, oh, okay, so we're starting the actual end of the show battle. I was like, oh, okay, well that's over. But I think that it was stolen by Richie Simpson. His the metaphysics professor. He was brilliant. I absolutely loved him.
Yeah,
That's the sound of you looking him up. Like, who the fuck is?
Oh yeah, because he was part of Newcastle, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was around there.
Yeah, I like that they in the pilot they allude to like this all of this like backstory and just being like something really sort of fucked up happened in Newcastle. I'm not going to tell you what it was. I don't know if they ever really go into that much detail. I think they sort of go, yeah, some stuff happens, and then I think they do go into it in quite a lot of detail at some point.
Oh really?
Yeah, I think at the end of the pilot, you see Zed. She's the person who's like drawing him, as if I remember correctly.
Oh, that's it. Okay. Yeah, I didn't know who's doing that sort of the prophetic painting thing. But
Yeah, because she's all like psychic and stuff, and she ends up being like their sort of scrying guide personally.
I did like that Chaz just turned up again. He's like, oh well, I guess he's dead. Never mind. And he just walks in the door like a bit later, like, oh, hello.
Yeah, I think they explain how that happened at some point, but yeah, no, I really like the fact that he's a great character. I love him. There's so much I like about this show.
Yeah, it's just a shame that I don't like him.
I don't know, what is it you didn't like about?
I don't know. I really don't know. But I'll just... There's something about him. He's just a bit... I really don't know. I really don't know. I think it's his accent that kind of annoyed me slightly. Like, there was touches of Newcastle in it, but then it was like largely Irish. But I don't know. I don't. But like you said to me earlier, like, I don't know if he's actually been to Newcastle or if he just lived there.
I think he's. I don't think he's from Newcastle. I think he was.
It just that was where the incident happened, where Astra died.
Because it doesn't actually. I don't know, that's just telling me about the TV show. It's not telling me about the characters.
But then I quite liked that it gave him a little bit more purpose other than just, oh, he's a tortured soul, like he feels really guilty. It's like, actually, I am looking for my mum as well.
Yeah. But there's... Yeah, no. It's really good. I like that it, even once the show died, when Arrow started to introduce, like, magic and the, like, they had a whole, like, flashback with Constantine, and he turned up in the modern day as well, and everyone was like, magic's not real, and then he's just like, I'm gonna do some magic stuff. And they were like, fuck, magic's real.
One thing I did I think was quite funny is in the comics and everything, and even in the Keanu Reeves film, he's a heavy smoker, and in the film that's actually what Tilda Swinton tells him is going to kill him. But I was watching it thinking, well, he's going to have to light up at some point, but then I was thinking, I guess they didn't really want to show smoking on screen.
He does smoke a bit on screen. I'm pretty sure they use it sort of as like a I've just beaten a villain, I better have a cigarette now.
Yeah, you can't do it halfway through, can you? Hang on a minute, hang on, just lighten up.
Yeah. Just like, if you're gonna kill me, can I just have one last smoke? Like, while he like flicks the cigarette to like light a pentagram on the floor. Just like, now you're going back to hell, I'll just have another.
I did really like the money shot at the end as well, where he's just chatting to the camera and there's all the things around, and he just goes, and his hands set fire, like he lights his hands up. That was fucking cool. I really liked that.
Yeah. At some point he goes into like how he got into like magic and stuff. And what I quite like is that he has like the character has that sort of arrogance of just like, yeah, no, I can like beat demons and shit. But that arrogance isn't backed up by a lot. He eventually sort of muddles his way through it, and then comes out the other side and he's just like, I will not learn a lesson from that. I will go into the next bad guy and do exactly the same fucking thing. And eventually he starts to like work out that he needs help, but then he gets cancelled, so
Yeah,
doesn't need any more help.
I mean, I like the idea. I just don't like that portrayal of him. Like, I think if I read some Hellblazer comics, I think I'd really like him. But I don't know. There's this weird thing where if it's about magic and it's kind of horrific and it's about religion, or it's tied to religion in some way, I fucking love it. Like as we're about to discuss with Preacher. But all things before it. Like, you know, like I've said, how much I liked uh, all the Victorian and horror stuff we watched last year. So like Penny Dreadful and Dracula and all those things. It's the similar sort of thing with the occult and, for some reason, religion. Like if the devil's involved somehow, I'll love whatever it is that I'm watching or playing or reading or whatever.
Yeah, I've just been looking at sort of the images off that are just online for Constantine, and the portrayal looks like the actual sort of the Matt Ryan version of it looks quite true to the comic book.
Yeah. I mean, I know I'm saying that I'd like it in the comic books. I don't like the show. I don't know. Maybe it's just I'm just not warming to him. I don't know.
Ah, well, there's only 13 episodes.
Yeah.
14 if you include the Arrow episode.
Well, whereabouts does that appear in sort of the series in Arrow?
Season 4, episode 4.
Oh wow, you know it that well.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's that episode. Just trying to read and no, it's not actually mentioned there. Fuck.
Oh, either way. Season 4.
Either way, it's a nice way to for them to extend the character a little bit longer, because it shows that even after the series, he's still around and in that universe. So I quite like that.
Yeah. So are they planning to use him again?
No, they sort of said it's like a one-off thing.
Oh, okay.
But he gets mentioned from time to time because in season 4, the big bad is a magic person. And they're just a bit like, have you not got a friend who deals with that kind of stuff? And it's just like, yeah, no, but I've run out of favours. It's just like, ah. Yeah, and I think in the flashback, Constantine, gives Oliver some, magical tattoos. Just transfers it from, his own body to Oliver's. And it's just like, oh, so that's how you got your tattoo. Because he goes to, Oliver goes to the island with no tattoos and comes back with, 4 or 5. And it's just like, you've been on an uninhabited desert island,
Yeah, there was a shop. There was a guy there. He had a needle. It was great.
That reminds me, I need a new tattoo.
I've actually been putting money aside for the last couple of months, and I've got enough to afford 1 hour. And I've been looking at designs. So.
Cool. But speaking of tattoos...
Yes, speaking of tattoos.
Preacher. Has a man with tattoos in it.
Oh, another thing. I just realised for Constantine, it was directed by Neil Marshall, who, as we know, directed Dog Soldiers, which was one of my favourite films when I was growing up. So I felt very pleased to see his name pop up, because I like that man is still employed. Preacher.
Yes.
What is a preacher?
A preacher is a religious person who does lots of shouting, it seems.
No way. Have you read any of the Preacher comics?
No.
Okay. I have read the first 2 or 3. I can't remember. It might be 3. But the trade paperbacks. I think it's 3 actually. Thinking about it. And they're brilliant, but they're disgusting. There is some horrible stuff that happens. There's one of the characters is this really fat pope, who every time he goes on a plane they have to replace the landing gear when they land, because he's so fat and weighs so much he just breaks it. But it's an awesome story, and it's not quite the same. It's not set up quite the same as in the show, but I don't think that's an issue, which is nice. But yeah, so in this version of the story, Jesse Custer is the preacher in Texas, and he's losing his faith. He's not really connecting with his congregation. He's moved back to Texas after an absence, which I can't remember. Is it explained, or that it's sort of
It wasn't really. It's not really explained. I'm assuming that he does some bad stuff.
Yeah, it's
while
alluded
he's
to
away.
that something goes wrong because, as he proves in the bar, he can fight like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
So yeah, but at the start of the show, there's an entity that is crossing the galaxy, and seemingly killing preachers and vicars and
Tom
that
Cruise.
sort of thing. Oh my god, that was one of the best jokes I've ever seen in a TV show, because it's just not mentioned, is it? It's like, oh, you see.
Yeah, it's just on the TV in the background. I was just like,
It was so subtle, but it was so clever. I loved it.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, I found there's a lot of sort of quite sort of dark humor in it.
Yeah, that's exactly what.
Like little things like that.
That's what's in the comics quite a lot. It's just there'll be this horrible stuff going on, or it'll usually be Cassidy just comes up with an absolutely cutting line, or just like a visual thing.
Interestingly, the episode was written by Seth Rogen,
And
Evan Goldberg, and Sam Catlin.
Yeah, they directed it as well. It was their sort of brainchild, because I think it's their favourite comic. So it was them saying, right, well, we're not going to do exactly what happens in the comics, but this is our idea of it.
Yeah, I quite like that. There's a lot of stuff that could maybe do with explaining,
Go on.
but I suppose it'll get explained when I continue to watch it.
Yeah.
Because I want to know more about Cassidy, if he's just a vampire or something else.
Yeah. Well, in the comics, he's a vampire. So I imagine he's just gonna be a vampire. But that scene in the plane, where he's posing as as a sort of waiter, barman, general sort of butler for these what appears to be high-flying businessmen, and he's just telling them stories and drinking, and oh my god, he's so funny in that. But then it just suddenly switches. This amazing fight scene, and that joke with the bottle, like he stabs a guy with the broken bottle, the cork stays in, he pops the cork and just pours himself a glass of the guy's blood. That is genius.
I like when he phoned the guy and he was just like, I just had to jump out of a plane from 30,000 feet.
I loved it when he got the umbrella, like he was doing Mary Poppins. And it's an amazing sort of visual matchup, isn't it? So he jumps out, it cuts immediately to someone's breakfast plate, and ketchup goes on the plate. Amazing. Absolute genius. But yeah, it's alluded to that something's happened to Jesse's dad, and he watches his dad die, and that may or may not be why he's back, or is why he comes back to Texas and
to do the revenge.
But yeah, so this entity, it goes like you see it in, where is it? You see it in Africa, and there's one other country, Russia, isn't it? You see it, another preacher and minister's attacked. So you sort of,
and obviously America somewhere, because Tom Cruise has to explode.
Yeah. And then it hits Jesse, and it doesn't kill him, but it gives him the word of God. So in the comics, the idea is that the angels in heaven are panicking like fuck, because they're like, holy shit, God's gone. Like, God just disappears. He goes, nah, fuck this, and he gives his powers to someone. So he gives it to Jesse. And the word of God means that when Jesse uses it, people will do what he says, quite literally.
Yeah, be brave, tell her the truth, open your heart.
Open your heart. So yeah, the entire way through, there's the chap who's like, oh, I'm having problems with my mum. He keeps telling her, be brave, tell the truth, open your hearts. At the end of the episode, he goes along, he's like, Mum, you're being a dick, what are you doing? But, it's alright, we'll be okay. She goes, oh, okay, well, I'm sorry. He just cuts open his chest. It's like, here's my heart. There's an interesting bit in the first trade paperback. I can't remember which issue of the comic it is, but he turns around to someone and goes, go fuck yourself. That's really funny.
Yeah, it seems like there's so many sort of, like, almost like layers and different sort of stories going through it that all seem to be converging around Jesse, because otherwise we wouldn't see them. But like the what's her name? Tulip,
Yeah,
who's doing some fighting and some killing.
with some homemade stuff.
Oh, that was really cool.
I did like the scene in the car chase, not the chase, but the fight in the car where they're going through the
cornfields.
It,
Yeah,
it looked quite comic booky, and I really liked that. But then she recruits some children to make some bombs, which is kind of dark.
yeah. And then when she leaves, they're just like, we know how to make bazookas now. No one's ever going to mess with us at school again. But, like, there's so many characters that I want to know more about. Like, Eugene, I want to know more about, like, his face, mostly.
In the comics, he's referred to as arse face.
I would never be able to understand why.
I think he is anyway. I might have got the right. Oh, there's a character that I cannot wait to pop up. There's a character who sort of dresses as a cowboy almost, and he's this sort of hitman, and he's called the Saint of Killers. So he goes around just dealing out death and punishment, which is awesome. Jesse's mum or grandma, no, so his grandma. Sorry. I hope that they do that storyline because there is some evil stuff that she does, and Jesse's family. I think they're all related anyway. But there is an event that needs to happen for the story to progress. So what I'm imagining is this series is going to take place all in Jesse's town. I can't remember what the town's called, which is really annoying me. But the little town in Texas. And yeah, there needs to be an event that occurs which will mean that Jesse and Cassidy and Tulip have to leave. And then the comic, where that picks up is like, it's a road trip. The whole comic is a road trip, like across America. So I'm hoping that they'll do that. Like keep it sort of grounded. And in the same town for series 1, and then for series 2 just start them off on their road trip. So I don't know when series 2 is coming out actually, but I would have to watch this.
Well, it's on Amazon anyway, so
yeah,
it's easy to find and it'll be advertised fucking everywhere.
exactly. So I think we'll know. But yeah, Lucy Griffith's returning in this as well. I watched it, I was like, hang on, I've just seen you in something.
Yeah, I like when he was getting all sort of like, he was trying to help the woman who was being like beaten, and then she's just like, no, it's fine, I like it. And it was just like, wait, what?
Yeah, that was a bit of a, oh, well, okay. Yeah.
And then the fight in the bar is awesome.
It was,
I like when the sheriff walks in and he's just like, don't worry, I'm almost done. And then he just like pops the bone out of the arm, and it's just like, oh, he's making that noise you said he would. But yeah, I quite like the dynamic between like Jesse and Cassidy.
oh yeah, that's gonna. I think that's gonna evolve into something brilliant. It's just like even when, because Jesse's deciding, I'm giving this up, and then he's giving his last sermon, and he goes, do you know what? No, I can't quit. And just in the background, Cassidy, he's not really doing anything, but his facial expressions are just so brilliant. Like he's just sat, you can tell he's a little bit bored. He's like, I don't really know what to do. I might as well just sit here and listen to this. And he's like, oh, okay, this is getting quite interesting. But he's just an amazing presence. Just he seems like the sort of bloke that would just naturally, you just look at him and then you'd be laughing. Like he'd be funny. Just
Well, yeah. Have you seen him in Misfits
No.
or This Is England?
no, I haven't seen.
Because he's great in both of those.
Is he? I mean, fair play. You gotta love him, haven't you? I've just looked at his Wikipedia page, and it says Joe Gilgan, born, blah 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 blah, occupation, actor, consumer of pints, king of Chorley. Don't really know what that means.
Even his Wikipedia's funny.
What else has he been in? I've not seen him in anything he's been in. Actually, looking at this, he's done quite a few things. but I've only seen him in Preacher, which I would definitely be continuing with. Do you have anything else to say on Preacher?
Not on Preacher,
Oh,
but just on Constantine again, very quickly.
Yeah, sorry, go on.
It had about the same viewership as Preacher.
Did he really?
Yeah,
Oh,
it had a
fuck.
surprisingly good.
Oh, they better carry on with Preacher then. If Constantine got those figures, then it still got cancelled. I mean, there might have been other reasons, I suppose, but hopefully. Because I tried watching, I had to have a few runs at the pilot of Preacher. I've tried watching it about 3 or 4 times. I just never finished it. And then the other night, I just sat and watched it. I was like, okay, no, this is cool. I like what they're doing with it.
Yeah, the lowest viewership for Constantine was 2.9 million.
2.9. Lowest?
Yeah, and that was episode 12.
Oh, Christ. Well, the lowest for Preacher is 1.414.
But because it's Amazon, it's not gonna.
I suppose it's not going to get... Yeah, that's very true. It's not going to get pulled, is it? Because they'll just keep chucking money at it, hopefully. I wonder how they collect those figures. Like, because is it just for the air date? Because obviously Preacher being online... I can't remember. Did they release them?
I have no idea how Amazon. No, Amazon do a lot of like weekly shows.
Yeah, I'm thinking perhaps they do that then.
Unless they sort of check it at a set date or time, but it doesn't work. I don't think that sort of I don't think viewing figures work as well for like
online stuff.
On-demand shows.
It is strange. Oh, here you go. Yeah, viewers. The pilot got 2.38 million. But it's got things like, it breaks down to like DVR viewers as well. So total viewers is 4.2. So yeah, the lowest it got was 2.52. If you count in, everyone who watched it on demand and everything too.
Yeah, no, it's like the thing I really like this like almost purely online TV shows.
The only issue with that is now there's too many things to watch and not enough time.
Well, yeah, most of our season 2 list is a lot of it's just online shows.
It is, isn't it? Just looking at it. I mean, we're not going to give away what they are. That would be madness. But yeah, that's very true. I have one last point about Preacher is that a bloke is fucked up when he eats a tea bag.
Yeah, like I was just sort of like, are you some sort of weird vampire?
Are you some kind of cunt? What are you doing?
It was just when he took out the cup, I was like, oh, that's a perfectly normal thing to do. And then he put it in his mouth, and I was like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy?
I now don't trust him.
I don't trust him because he doesn't do tea properly. But that's American shows, so none of them will.
That's the point. Maybe
apart from Cassidy.
Maybe that's what they think that tea is.
Maybe that's... Yeah, no, they don't drink the actual tea. They just go, well, it's just a thing to make my tea bag taste good. But no, both of the shows I really liked. Which is unsurprising because I already watched Constantine all the way through.
Yeah.
But Preacher is a new thing that I'm now going to watch probably all the way through along with fucking everything else that I want to watch.
Well, next time you're down, I've lent the comics to my neighbour, but I'll get that back probably this weekend. So I'll lend you the comic if you like, because they are really good. And then
are you gonna? I'm assuming you're gonna continue watching Preacher.
Yeah, definitely now. Like,
what about Constantine? Because it's only 13 episodes.
That's very true, but I don't know. It didn't have the pull of Preacher for me. Maybe it's because I know a little bit more about Preacher, and I know and I really like that. I might at some point read the Hellblazer comics. Yeah, they've been in my Amazon wishlist for a while now. A lot of comics have. I might carry on with Constantine, but with Preacher, I'm definitely 100% going to carry on with it. I don't know when, because I don't have a lot of time anymore. But
yeah, I know that feel.
Yeah, it's getting old, man. We're getting old.
Got actual responsibilities and shit.
I have a mortgage. That's something that I haven't realise it. Like I think. Oh no, I did for the last podcast.
Haven't
I
realised.
have a mortgage.
Went through this massive long process of signing up and getting it, but
What?
I hadn't quite realised until now I have a mortgage.
I had no warning. No one told me about this.
Bills.
No one told me I'd have to
Bills?
pay once a month.
I thought it was just like the one-time thing, and that was it. But turns out no. Right.
Yeah, I thought it was weird that I got a house for £500. It was weird.
I thought it was quite reasonable. Everyone's going about, oh no, the market's shit. No, it was alright. There is a
But
lot
then they told me it was
of noise.
£500 a month. Yeah, sorry, I moved in my chair.
Well, don't. Ever again. Do not move ever again.
Well, shit.
Oh yeah, I like the title for this episode because they are just one word titles. So you've literally just gone Preacher Constantine.
Well, yeah, it's like a title. Like, Preacher is a title, Constantine is the name.
Very good. So next week.
At least that's how I'm doing it.
Not next week. Are we saying next week? Are we gonna?
No.
Next episode.
Next episode.
Next fortnight. Sorry. We're doing the X-Files, and we're gonna do Buffy, which I started Buffy on series 7 back in 2004, 5 or 6 when it had finished.
Yeah.
So,
We're doing that thing where we're well behind the curve on, like, watching up-to-date pilots.
yeah. Well,
It's good.
For instance, Westworld will be coming out on the 18th of October when we do that episode.
Well, we'll move stuff around, I think.
Yeah, I think we're gonna. So yeah, Buffy and X-Files next episode, which will be a good one because I like both of those things. And actually, I've got
I think-
DVDs of both, which is quite nice.
There's a lot of stuff on this list that I'm interested to watch.
Yeah, definitely, it's a really good list that you've put together.
And there's, like, the thing, what I've done is I've put some shows in that I've already seen and just want to talk about.
Yeah,
And also,
like Hannibal.
like, what I've been doing is just putting shows in that I want you to watch.
That's a
as well.
really good idea.
like Orphan Black. Because I think that,
You've been going on
Like,
about
so-
that since we were at uni.
yeah, because it's really good.
So yeah, I heard. Did they do their final series this year?
No, next one.
Oh, this is the next. Okay, yeah. I know. I remember hearing the girl who's in it. She was on some I think she might have been on Radio 1 or something. And just saying, yeah, it's really fun playing the same character but different people all the time. So I was quite interested in that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. What, you mean the girl who plays, like, 8 different characters in the show?
Yes. So yeah, X-Files, Buffy coming next, and then we'll go from there, and we'll see you a bit later.
Yeah. Goodbye.
But see you, goodbye. Bye.